Police believe that they have apprehended the man responsible for the killing of 2 police officers in Iowa over the past 24 hours. Police said that both shootings appear to have been ambushes, and the chief of police who was speaking on this matter said that both officers clearly were just seated in their cars when they were shot. We have a little map here. You're going to see the 2 locations in Iowa where the police officers were shot, one near Urbandale and one in Des Moines. Apparently, it was the first police officer killed in the line of duty in Des Moines since 1977, and 2 in that area killed in less than 1 day. We have a letter about the investigation of this and also some details about the man who's believed to have done it. Loretta Lynch, the Attorney General, says, "I know that this is a time of particular tension and mistrust between law enforcement and many communities. I know that while we do not yet know what led the perpetrator to commit these awful crimes, many will be nonetheless be tempted to read a message or motive into this assault. But let me be clear, there is no message in murder," which is perhaps an admirable statement, not necessarily true. Now, when this was initially announced that the police officers had been killed, before we knew who had done it, immediately many media outlets were pushing the idea that this was another angry African American, a member of the Black Lives Matter movement, who was gunning down police officers. And on sites like Breitbart and Drudge and things like that, that's the message that was put out there. Turns out it's not actually the case. And while it turned out to be a white man, and we're going to give you some details on him, it also isn't the case that there was no message and no motive in gunning down police officers. This suspect, who we're not going to name, was arrested in 2001 on charges of domestic assault, assault causing bodily injury, and 4th-degree criminal mischief, which isn't as fun as it sounds. He was also charged with drunken driving back in 2010 and with first-degree harassment in 2014. So this is a repeat offender who had apparently had run-ins with the police in that area, filming and releasing multiple YouTube videos alleging harassment by police in the area of Urbandale, and also getting into confrontations at sporting events in which he apparently was protesting what he saw as unpatriotic activity of people like Colin Kaepernick and others. He posted a photo of himself holding both the U.S. flag and the Confederate flag, as several black fans in the background appear to yell at him. He captioned it showing he considered this a civil rights violation, that they were yelling at him as he carried the Confederate flag. He also posted this comment, "I was offended by the blacks sitting through our anthem. Thousands more whites fought and died for their freedom. However, this is not about the armed forces. They are cop haters."
The guy who just shot 2 cops and murdered them.
One of which has been identified as Justin Martin. We don't know the name of the other as of this filming. So he was so angry that they were disrespecting the cops that he went off and murdered innocent cops.
Okay. But you know that he is the embodiment of the irony and the hypocrisy of the right-wing movement.
Yeah.
That is not to say that all right-wingers are going to go murder cops. That's not what I mean by it. What I mean by it is, like, they don't care about logic. And everything is projection. Oh, they hate the cops. While he is murdering cops. Oh, they want entitlements. That's all these minorities ever want. Well, I'm entitled to those jobs. Why are the blacks getting them through affirmative action? Yeah. I'm entitled for you to tell me Merry Christmas. It's, why are you just, but I'm not your religion.
They're the ultimate victim.
Yeah. Oh my, you should do my religion and tell me Merry Christmas. These Muslims, all they want is Sharia law and enforce their religion. Everything is projection.
Gays shouldn't be allowed to be married because of my religion. How dare you Muslims care about your religion?
And by the way, oh my God, they attack gays because of Islam, while they then turn around and attack gays because of Christianity. It goes on and on and on. Yeah. Now, this is an extreme example of it, but here we have, the authorities said, we may never know why he did this. What do you mean we may never know why he did this? It's the minute that it's a Muslim, they're like, oh, I mean, we're looking into it, but it's pretty, it's pretty obvious, right? Yeah. And then a day later, they're like, yes, ISIS, this, that, whatever it is, right? Or even if it's not ISIS, hey, we're looking into terrorist connections, etc. Nobody mentions terrorism here. He shot 2 cops in the head. Why is it? If he was a guy with the name of Muhammad Abdullah and he had murdered 2 cops in the middle of Iowa, of course we'd be talking about whether it was terrorism. So just the political ideology or the race changes whether we call it terrorism, right?
Yeah.
I mean, there's no other way around it. What do you mean we may never know? The guy's got videos on YouTube in confrontations with cops, and he's saying why he's mad at the cops because they took away his white civil rights. And while he's waving a Confederate flag, another super irony there. Why won't you stand for the national anthem? So I'll wave a flag of traitors who betrayed America and started a war with America, okay? I mean, you can't get any more ironic than that.
Protect the police immediately prior to murdering police officers. Yeah, and look, and in terms of that, the double standard for well, if it's this motivation, then suddenly it's news. Suddenly it's the biggest news in the world because it's terrorism. If it's this motivation, not so much. I mean, we were talking about in the production meeting this morning. We saw that play out in real time when there was a possibility that it was a member of Black Lives Matter. It was front page news on right-wing news sites. As soon as they found out that it was just some angry racist white man, it disappeared. It's not even being framed in a way that benefits them. It's gone. It's not news. And the thing was, we saw when the police officers were shot by that asshole in Baton Rouge, that was news for weeks. And we saw the Blue Lives Matter movement stood up to protect these people who had died in the line of duty. It was a tragedy. Where are those people now? Why don't they care about these police officers who were killed?
They're Blue Lives
both
Matter?
tragedies.
Where's Blue Lives Matter? Where's Blue Lives Matter? So is it just that you guys are racist and you only want to make sure that you can still beat down black people and arrest them any way you like and do your stop and frisk and harass protesters, etc.? Or do you actually care about blue lives?
Where's Sarah Palin and her Facebook rants about the cops and how important
If
they're
you
to protect
care about cops,
Where's
why aren't
Tommy
you
Lauren's
saying, hey,
rant
God
tonight?
damn it, let's profile everybody with a Confederate flag. Let's make sure that we go, hey, remember what O'Reilly called Black Lives Matter? Because of their protests, which is the most American thing you can do. He called them terrorists. O'Reilly, where are you? This guy murdered 2 cops. All of a sudden, you don't care about cops, do you? You don't care about cops. You never cared about cops. That was just an excuse for your racism. That's what it was for. So now when you got a fellow racist who's going around killing cops, shh.